Rugby is all about being faster than the opposition, being first at the breakdown, making the tackle and running into space. All these skills rely on how well you can move from one place to another, accelerate, decelerate and change direction. To give us some tips and insights, I'm beyond proud to introduce one of the greatest wings to play the game, and who, more importantly, is one of our greatest supporters. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your experience and your knowledge.
No, Chanel, it's absolutely great to be here today. I think to get started, for me, a really key component of rugby, and whether you're playing in the forwards or whether you're playing in the back line, acceleration is a really important part of rugby. And whether you're breaking away from a scrum, whether you're getting up off the floor from making a tackle, or potentially trying to accelerate that last little bit before scoring a try, much like I had to do for most of my career. But I think it's a really key factor, not just the accelerating, but the actual component of the speed, the deceleration, how you can quickly change momentum and your own body movement, and making sure that you are ready to face the next job. I think for me, the starting point is probably the premise of everything. And for me, the optimal positioning of your body is what is really important. And if you can sort of get into that habit, I almost want to say, or that routine of going through a sort of a checklist, it's got to be done like in a split second, but making sure that you're doing the things in accordance to how your body can then adapt to the situation on field. Making sure that point number one, you keep your head straight, looking forward, relaxing your shoulders, because I think in so doing, you're really making your body more able to move in different directions, particularly if you're wanting to move forward. Then push your chest out, because as soon as you push your chest out, you're making your whole body straight and you're almost making yourself a bigger force. And in so doing, making sure that that spinal alignment is incredibly important and key. Making sure that you're listening to your strength and conditioning coach, making sure that your core and abdominal work that you're doing in the gym, then gets laid out to how you can potentially accelerate. Much like your head, your hips need to be facing in the same direction forward, and in so doing, making sure that the direction you're running with is with your head, your neck and your shoulders aligned, sort of in that pivotal movement, but also in alignment with how you're hitting the earth. So potentially sort of slightly leaning forward in making sure that you're not running on your heels, you're not leaning back. So sort of making sure that that forward leaning momentum sort of puts you in a position to then continually accelerate and keep that speed going. Yeah, so landing on a soft bent knee, I think, is really important, and making sure from your mid to your front foot, you're landing directly on the earth and trying to put as much force or momentum, and not running, but rather pushing away.
Yes.
Because I think that's important, because if you're just running, you're lifting your knees, but if you can literally sort of push off the earth, it gives you that added ability to accelerate a lot quicker. If you're running, if you're holding the ball in two hands, it automatically gives you more than one option. So your opposition doesn't know, are you going to pass that? When you're on the move and you're bracing for contact, by all means, sort of tuck that ball, because also in tucking the ball, you're actually protecting the ball a bit more. Where you have it in two hands, you're making yourself available to do more options, to do more things with it. So again, tucking the ball, particularly going in for contact, making sure that your center of gravity is low, and you're potentially giving the opposition less body space to be able to tackle you or take you back. Also, sort of tucking it gives you that opportunity to again get that leg drive going into contact, which I think is
solid pace.
Really in a very small pace of time, and you're also getting more power in that leg drive in tucking and going forward. And this also makes it harder for the defender to potentially drive you off your legs.
Thank you so much, Bryan. Now let's get into the drills required to build speed, acceleration and deceleration.
Let's head to the field.
To lunge, keep your chest up and look forward. Both front and back knee should bend to 90 degrees, and ensure that your back knee kisses the floor every time. Your knee should never go past your front foot. Now step forward explosively and with your knee coming up to hip height. As you go, make sure you're lunging with control and confidence. Throughout the jump, look forward and not down. Start in a quarter squat position, activating your glutes and hamstrings. Push off the ground and drive forward with the hips and arms as you jump out as far as possible. Press your foot into the ground to create force and jump on one leg. Lift the knee of the opposite leg and use your arms to propel you forward. When comfortable, progress to a triple tuck jump. Step forward, lifting one knee to waist height while keeping your back leg straight as you come off your toe. Alternating your legs, keep moving forward. Strike the ground with your mid to forefoot while swinging your opposite arm. With your back straight and torso upright, your legs will simulate a scissor movement. Focus on hip extension, activating your hamstrings and glutes, and driving into the ground with force. Start standing on one foot with your knee slightly bent. As you push off your leg, drive your opposite knee up and forward to bound diagonally. Swing your arms to acquire height and distance. High knees are like ace skips, but instead of skipping, there's a quick transition from one foot to the other, just like running. Focus on lifting your knees as high as possible each time.
I think for the first exercise, now that you're almost warm, we sort of want you sort of accelerating to the 10 meters. Then once you've done that, we'll sort of come back, walk back, make sure your body gets relaxed again. And that's the most important key with speed and sprint training.
Recovery.
It's complete recovery. Yeah, it's about form. It's about making sure that in that time period that you are working, you're working to maximum capacity. So again, I want you to concentrate, again, everything you've spoken about, making sure you're lifting your knees high, toes pointed up, as that line comes, you're leaning forward and you're pushing off the mid to your front foot, so that you're not sort of flat-footed, you're not leaning backwards, making sure you slightly tip forward, so you're leaning forward so that your body's continually moving forward.
And go.
Brilliant. But brilliant, that's the great start. I think the next one is we want you to accelerate as quickly as possible to the 10 meter, but I'm going to ask you to stop dead on the 10, not go past the cone, making sure that you're making your body aware in terms of deceleration and how rugby works. We're not running in straight lines, we're moving from left to right, that you are able to, in strengthening your core, in activating your core, you're able to make your body potentially come to complete halt as quickly as possible.
Ready? And go. Nice, beautiful.
Well done.
Nice.
Like that, really like that. Well done, Tabby. Again, complete recovery. We want you, when you are doing the drill, to be doing it at maximum capacity. So, making sure, again, from a breathing perspective, I think it's something we haven't alluded to.
Yes.
When you're thinking about next steps, something we did really often, whether it was at test match level, super rugby level, top 14 level, is if we have a break in play or there is an opportunity to take a moment to recollect our thoughts, think about that next step. Before we even spoke, we took a breath.
Yes, a reset.
A reset, just to also get the needed oxygen into your body, but also make sure that you're resting properly, you're completely ready to give maximum effort for that next phase. So the next drill in this acceleration, how to continue doing it, we want you to accelerate as quick as you can to as high a level to that 10 meter, and then continue that, that sprinting through to the 20.
And go. Nice use of the arms, nice use of the arms.
Okay, so Tabi, so again, we're getting those principles of how, you can make your body aware of what's needed to happen. The first couple of exercises were without a ball. Now, more rugby specific, we're trying to bring a ball in, getting you comfortable with, as we alluded to, carrying the ball in both hands. We're going to start out with that first one, so it's just acceleration to the 10 meter, and then we're going to start back, but we've got the ball in hand this time. So again. Nice. Tabi, so back like with that first drill where we did it without the ball, now we're going to add the ball into it. We're going to accelerate as quickly as we can to the 10 meter. We're going to try decelerate, come to complete stop at the 10. Normally in a training, we're going to have a lot more women and girls behind you. So we're going to get you out of the grid as quickly as possible. So accelerating to the 10, decelerating on the spot, not going past the cone, and then just side shuffling to the right. Go! Nice.
Beautiful.
Done. Now we want you to try get to the 10 and maintain a proper sprint up to the 20 meter. And like Chanali alluded to earlier, for the first 5 to 10 meters, making sure you're carrying the ball in both hands. But as you sort of hit that 10 meter mark, transfer the ball to one arm and just try to pump as hard as you can to the 20 meter.
Go!
Nice.
Nice.
Are you keen for a bit of a race?
Yeah, sure.
See how it goes.
But I think we need to make it fair,
Sorry, I haven't
Bryan.
warmed up. I'm just gonna quickly do this.
Yes.
Ooh, okay, wow.
Okay. Ready?
Go! Tuck it in, let's go! Really great to see Tubby doing,
Yes.
again, understanding her own body.
Yes.
And in so doing, making sure that she's constantly progressing. And I think that's the beauty of things,
Yes.
that you can actually track
Yes.
this type of training.
Yeah.
Is your core getting stronger?
Yeah.
First and foremost. So in the
Definitely.
gym, how are you doing those things? There are a lot of fancy, expensive equipment that one can use, beams to track your speed that automatically measure. Rugby is a team sport, so potentially getting one of your teammates, one of your friends, whether it be a stopwatch, cell phone counter,
Yes.
just to measure. Because I think when you have the data, it gives you something to form a basis on.
Yeah, the last thing to remember is max effort and then complete recovery when you train your technique, because we're focusing on form. Thank you so much, Bryan, for being here.
Thank you very much. And yeah, hopefully we can get young girls and boys and young women, young adolescents excited about
Yes.
something as cool as speed. Make sure you're always thinking about your speed.
There are 7 movements that you can include in your warm-up, which will reinforce correct posture and technique. As well as improving your sprinting technique, they also improve your flexibility, your balance and stability, and will build leg strength and power. The form and technique drills are done in the general preparation phase. Maintain the technique during the specific and competition phase. Do each over 10 meters with 2 to 3 reps. As you progress, you should work towards doing a full 22 meter for each rep. Incorporate the sprint drills into your weekly sessions in the general preparation phase. In the specific preparation phase and competition phase, you need to do maintenance, so include the sprints into your training sessions bi-weekly. You can also do standalone sprinting sessions once or twice a week. Now that you have perfected acceleration, deceleration and speed, join us for Module 7, where we focus on agility and change of direction.